Hey, boss, he ain't working.
And it is not a laughing matter. We are here today to call your attention to the fact that an egregious, disgusting joke was made about George Floyd. Here we are about to memorialize George Floyd for year 6 after his brutal murder at the hands of the Minneapolis Police Department. Our community is still experiencing grief and trauma. We have young people in our community who were children at the time. They're now teenagers, still dealing with the impacts of the police killing of George Floyd. And instead of allowing our community to grieve in peace, to celebrate George Floyd in peace, we have Netflix comedians making light of the brutal killing of George Floyd. It is unacceptable and it is unconscionable. Tony Hinchcliffe made a grotesque joke saying that George Floyd is looking up at us, laughing, and he can't breathe. When I saw the clip online, it made me sick to my stomach. We are here to declare today that there needs to be accountability for Kevin Hart's Netflix roast.
And see, and at the same time too, I want to state that I don't buy anything that these people be saying. You know why? Because the lady that was doing this this press conference is the same lady, Nekima Levy Armstrong. She's the same individual that, if y'all remember, ran into a church protesting a few months ago. So you're upset about George Floyd, a joke with comedians, but you're not upset with your actions of storming in a church. You're the ringleader. You set it up and you brought on Don Lemon. See, this is fake outrage, in my opinion, or selective outrage, however you want to put it. Because at the end of the day, wrong is wrong, right is right. Okay, we all know how comedians are, right? We all know that they can go as they go far with it, right? And then we also got to look at the fact that I thought this is what we've been advocating for in our society. I thought this is what we've been advocating for, letting comedians get back to doing comedian work. But the world, we can see that, no, it's only sensitive when it's about what you want to do, right? You wasn't sensitive about running into a church knowing that we have people running into churches, synagogues, wherever the case may be, and trying to kill people, right? You wasn't sensitive about that and understanding that, but now you're sensitive about because the anniversary of George Floyd is finna come up. No, I think that's a bunch of crock. I think it's a bunch of crock if you ask me. Welcome everybody to Pour Your Own Problems. I am your host, Mercy. Kevin Hart dismantles the Breakfast Club and the criticism that's been stoked upon him about the George Floyd situation when it came down to. And I'm gonna give y'all my thoughts as we go along the way. Sippers, sippets, remember, pour your own problems. I can't pour it for you.
Yeah, the George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience, but our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Like, that's what they do. Go look at the Tom Brady one. Like, that's what they do. It happens every year when they do a roast. It's not new. This isn't it's not a new agenda. It's not a new approach to comedy.
Do you feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd?
It's Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
I feel like you're saying going too far is the point. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes, I mean, that's why you're there. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to, because we're being honest. People are talking about that joke. Talk about his set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set, or one of the best sets, between Tony and Cheryl, and I would say Naeem had a really strong
Naeem
set.
had a very strong set. I was laughing out loud at Tony until that. Joke.
Until the joke.
But not even just that joke. I don't like when people joke about violent, tragic death.
But then that becomes just a preference, and that's totally fine. I don't like to hear comedians talk about certain things, but I'm not gonna not watch the whole show. I gotta see everything in its totality. I'm not looking for something to be clickbaited, clipped up, and then now I gotta feel away without having the full body of interpretation. But we all have our preferences when it comes down to comedy. But we shouldn't stop the comedy from actually happening. We've stripped comedy so much, we don't even get the proper comedy in our movies anymore. Maybe Scary Movie 6 would change that. We don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to see in the next few weeks. But the point is, we've been stripped from our humor, our human nature. Is to make fun of our pain. And comedians have a craft to actually to use that as a tool. Now, are some comedians or some things that are said distasteful? True, yes. But it's all based upon how you interpret it and how you feel about it. But that doesn't mean that it's not a joke. It ain't like he whispered it under his breath or he caught hot micing or something like that. It was a part of his show. A part of his part of the show. So you can miss me with that one, but let's keep it going.
I liked Pete's set, and then I was like, why you had to say anything about Charlie Kirk?
Pete had a great set too. Pete had a Charlie Kirk joke in it.
Yeah.
Like, would I tell those jokes? No. But do I get why they're being told? Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, I'm not looking at Pete crazy. I'm not looking at Tony crazy. Like, that's what I know what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. I know your style of comedy.
Did you see the interview that I did with Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother?
No.
So he said
no shot to you.
No, okay. That's look.
I'm never watching it.
That's fine.
I just want to be clear. I'm never watching that. Like,
I only brought it up.
Even now that you told me, I'm not going to go back and go look at that interview.
Because he's a fan.
But I just want to make it clear so you understand what I do with my time. Like, I'm never doing that. Okay, go ahead.
I just asked because he's a fan of you. Mm-hmm. He saw the joke and it picked up pretty big. So I didn't know if you saw it, but he basically said, like, as a fan of you and knowing that you came to the funeral to support his family, even though it's a roast and Tony, that's what he does, they expected you to kind of be the person that would like stop it right in the moment or just not allow for certain things to happen.
And he also said he wanted you to come harder. He said if they're going to joke, why you ain't come harder with your own jokes?
All right,
racist jokes, I guess.
This is actually a good thing to give a rebuttal to.
See, then
they talked about my dead mom and my dead dad. Said that they were running a train on my mom, and
that was hilarious,
right?
It was a double entendre.
Yeah, that was.
So, if Kevin Hart, during his own roast, has a sense of humor about his mom and father that are clearly gone, you're telling me you can't take a joke? We've fallen that far to this is the most egregious thing being said. You're calling out, why you need, like, come on. Kevin Hart is not the poster child for George Floyd. Are you mad because of the backing from Netflix? What is it? Do y'all think y'all gonna get a piece of change out of this too? Run up a bag like Black Lives Matter or something? Like, I'm clueless. Like, what does this have to do with Kevin Hart being roasted? But if he can take it on the chin, why can't you? And I'm not saying if somebody's saying it maliciously. I'm saying if they're on a roast, if this is a stand-up, what are we talking about? There's been plenty more egregious things said on a stage than this particular segment. But I digress. Let's keep it going.
Regina killed that.
Right?
Yes, oh, wait, that's right. You probably should say killed that.
The jokes about Kevin was on a slave ship in a bottle with like the ship in the bottle. Like, I'm going to appreciate humor. I don't get affected by the attempt of humor. I get it, right? In this case, like, do more. It's my production. We're live. the more is what? Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey, man, fuck that joke. We move on. I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this big thing of like, oh, man, the motherfuckers, they do this. And
because we got to have something to die, a hill to die on. We got to justify how we feel at each and every corner. And to me personally, black people, like, this is how I feel. We cry wolf so much that people are starting to just silence, like go silence with our problems that we actually have in our communities or abroad. Because we cry wolf at every single moment. We don't just let things just ride or let things just form organically. We just gotta propagate every situation. Every situation is not called for some massive disruption or some cancellation. I never knew in my opinion, I never knew black people were so invested in council culture. Or is it selective counsel? I digress. Let's keep it going.
They're attacking the culture. It doesn't have to be that. It literally is either you're a fan of this level of content or you're not. And if you're not a fan, then you don't watch it. So my last note for all attached to this is very simple, okay? Whatever the headlines or whatever the dialogue is, my rebuttal is simplicity. Remove me from it. I didn't say it. If you are upset that the night went on, that's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do. It's a production. It's a live production. I'm not compromising the live production for a reaction of what? What do you want me to do? I'm supposed to drag him off? You want me to fight afterwards? You want me to turn it into like what? That's not what I agreed to do. That's not the job at hand. The job at hand was to produce a successful roast, which I did. I also got the rebuttal. I also got to say shit at the end. What are we dealing with here? I'll say it again. Stop talking as if I said it. Mm-hmm. So when you say the family and the family's affected, I didn't disrespect the family. Showed up for the family when it happened. Made sure that the family felt supported. Made sure that all things there were actually cool. Behind the scenes, just as an example, you know the one person that I talked to? Ooh. And I'm not even going to tell you the conversation? Stephen Jackson.
Oh, I know you caught that.
That's because that's my nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, Stack, let me just call you, man. So I can explain to you like the world of the roast, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. We talked. I get it, Kev. We had a great conversation. But that's what I mean when I say, hey, man, let me call the one person after. And that's before whatever you're talking about.
And personally, I probably wouldn't did that. Kevin Hart just being simply nice and showing some sensitivity. He didn't have to call Steven Jackson. He didn't have to let him know ahead of time what was going on. He didn't have to extend that courtesy. But because he has a relationship with this person, he extended so that it can be some type of grace. Right? So what are we even discussing?
That's immediate. Mm-hmm. Stack, hey, Tony threw one out there. It's this and this, but you do know that that's what this shit is a roast. But I just want you to know from my side, that man is on his own.
You ain't lead with that, Kev. You should have been leading with that the whole time.
I don't need to.
People just want to know you care.
I don't fucking need to prove to people that I give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Just this time. This one time.
No.
Yeah, this one.
No.
And see, Charlamagne is being totally disingenuous with a smidgen of sarcasm. But bottom line, you know the truth. Why does this man have to tell his business about a personal conversation that he had with someone Why do we feel that all because we live in a social media age that we have to know every single thing that takes place behind the scenes? Like, we don't have to know everything. And I think everything that he said up to this point is pure facts. But you see, we'll have people that push their agenda. When we're talking about this post has been about comedy. Why are we even having this discussion? It's ridiculous.
If you open that door, then that's the door that people expect all the time. Why the fuck do I need to do that?
I think it's because of how much the George Floyd situation affected so many people. I think I get what you're saying and how you stand on your business, and I respect you for that.
I'm not talking about business.
Or whatever it is. I think with certain things.
Not say it.
But
it affected so many people, but some of y'all are still doing the same stuff. Come on. Come on. Because the only person they destroyed, these people destroyed their own little city. Organizations were funded. But black people still standing where they at, while the organization like BLM ran off on the plug, ran off with the paper. But we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna never address that elephant in the room.
Their pushback is it happened at Kevin Hart's roast. Kevin Hart, who is like, he's like, so many of us support you. You're ours.
They just want to hear you say. Okay, I just want to hear you say what you said today. It's tasteless. You actually reached out to somebody who's considered his family to say, let them know. That's all.
I have the best example. Mm-hmm. If I go to a nightclub and like we're celebrating, right? And 2 people get killed that night at the nightclub. What's the headline?
Kevin Hart's party got shot.
2 people died at Kevin Hart's party, right? People may say, I'm not going to Kevin Hart's party again. Man, you can't go to Kevin Hart shit. Kevin Hart shit ain't safe. I ain't fucking with Kev. You heard what happened. I go, but I didn't fucking do it. I didn't even know the people that fucking was shooting. I didn't even know the 2 people that got killed. That's the nature of being the name. Your name is attached to things to make things bigger. What is my fucking... I didn't shoot the gun. Why am I arguing and why am I doing interviews after?
Why were they in your party with guns?
But who knows? I don't work the metal detectors.
It's a great analogy.
I'm not the security guys. The club does all that. Mm-hmm. I don't have those answers. You understand what I'm saying? Like the responsibility just it starts to compile as if I'm the one in charge. We are not in charge of the dialogue from anybody on that stage.
The only difference is if it was a party, you wouldn't have invited them in. If you invited them to the party and you knew they was coming and you knew they was going to be there and you know they potentially might be goons.
Okay.
Like, you know how Tony get down.
Okay, so the Tom Brady roast was a big hit.
Yep.
Right? What was the talent attached to Tom Brady's roast? That was a huge hit.
Yep.
I also asked Nikki Glaser to do it. Tony and Nikki were the 2 standouts from that roast. Mm-hmm. They were the big fucking winners of that roast. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get the winners of that roast to come back and fuck with me on mine. It's that simple. There was no other thought. I don't know the track record of and what I'm going from. Hey, man, bring the hitters back. Let's see if we can get Nikki and Tony because they crushed on the last one. Jeff, you got to do this one too. Okay. What is Kevin pulling the talent from? I'm pulling it from what? Success.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. It's that simple. So all of this like idea of Kev invited them. He know that they. How the fuck do you think I'm hanging out with these people? You think I'm on a day-to-day with these fucking people?
Well, if they said you was hanging out with them, they would say it's by a noose.
Listen,
a baby.
That's what they would say.
Yes. If the attempt behind humor is that, if you get your laugh, have at it.
And see, that's the only thing that I liked about this whole conversation is what what Charlamagne said just there. You see the comparison with the jokes, right? So we can be talking about something totally serious and then throw a joke into it. And it was a great joke that Charlamagne just told, Kevin Hart. I think people are just taking themselves too serious. Everything doesn't have to be serious and doesn't have to die on this hill. It's no different from when they were making jokes about R. Kelly. It's no different from when they was making jokes about Michael Jackson in his situation. It's no different. Y'all gotta let these comedians be comedians again. Maybe we can get some good content. Maybe we can get some good movies out of it. Everything, we don't have to die on every hill. But
if you don't deal with it, all I'm saying is take this world of responsibility off my fucking plate when it's not valid.
If Tony calls you right now and says, man, Kev, man, I was out at the comedy club, man, and man, this dude, man, who said he was George Floyd's brother, smacked the shit out of me.
You gotta deal with that.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Right, you gotta deal with it.
The fuck you want me to do? That's the consequences of the shit.
There you go. So, Cat Williams.
Yeah, like, absolutely. I agree. Like, if you say something, you can't expect somebody not to react. In the same breath, it was comedy, but at the same time, if you say something that offends somebody, don't expect somebody not to retaliate a certain way. And that's fair on all levels. I'm not advocating that somebody go hit somebody off of a joke, but at the same time, I can't dictate how something makes somebody else feel, right? Like, we understand that. But to start playing with within freedom of speech, right? Why are we continuously decreasing and limiting our comedians? Particularly when this was a roast, right? But I think Kevin Hart had some great analogies in this interview. I think he really put a lot of things in perspective and put a lot of people in their place, letting them know like standing his ground. And I think that is I think it was genuine, and I think it's very cool. Like, we have to get back to standing your ground on what you believe and how you feel about a situation. Because on the flip side, you're not going to be able to dictate and tell somebody else how to feel on the other side. Right? He did nothing wrong. He had nothing to do with the joke. It was a roast on him. And he was a good sport about it, so why can't you? But sippers, y'all tell me how y'all feel about it in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's your boy Mercy. I'm out.